Good day, mate. You know Australia, the one known for kangaroos, koalas, and losing a war to emus. The one that sells Vegemite, the land down under. Why is Australia called the land down under? According to Google, it's because it's located in the southern hemisphere. Okay, so I guess the other 31 countries that lie in the southern hemisphere just don't exist. Anyways, before I get further off topic, this is my trip to Australia. Now, I have told most of my friends that I was going to Australia, specifically Melbourne. But in classic Ryan fashion, I'm not actually going to where I'm telling you I'm going. Instead, I stopped in Melbourne to change to a flight going to Tasmania. Dear friends, you have all been scammed. There was one interesting thing at the Melbourne airport though. Because I was feeling unwell, I decided to buy something soupy. And by soupy, I mean wonton noodles from a Chinese restaurant. In an Australian airport. Clearly, it's a tourist trap. To tell you how much of a tourist trap, let's just say this bowl of wonton noodles cost $20. Obviously, it's not worth the price, but damn, those wontons are massive. Now, after arriving in Launceston, Tasmania, we had a 2-hour drive to Cradle Mountain, where our first accommodation would be, and bloody hell was it cold. Not freezing cold, but unexpectedly cold. And by the way, I was wearing sandals and shorts. Well, nothing an artificial fireplace can't fix. Now, this is where the fun begins. We went for a hiking trail at Cradle Mountain around Duff Lake, which was way colder than I prepared for. Trust me, I'm not built for Russia. I had to endure the cold for around 3 hours. But the view and the scenery are just so nice. After that one hiking trail, as a logical person, I decided that enough was enough, so I simply went back to the cabin to watch YouTube videos for the rest of the day. Any normal person wouldn't need to spend more than 1 day hiking, so we checked out of the cabin and drove for 2 hours to a town called Ross just to eat pies. Then drove for another 2 hours to the first farm of the trip in Richmond. Another day to head out for walks. Now at Eagle Hawk Neck to see the Tasman Arch and Waterfall Bay. The nature, absolutely beautiful. The scenery, absolutely beautiful. What we actually went there to see, absolutely disappointing. Tasman Arch was okay, nothing that special, just some erosion action. The Waterfall Bay was a small trickle of water from the top of some rocks. One explanation was that it's summer there, so there is less water, so the waterfall is less, magnificent. But I don't give a shit. I walked an hour and a half for nothing. The next place was the remarkable cave at Port Arthur, which is more of an exaggeration. It is still just erosion happening, but the waves are cool at least. Day 5 was kind of just me being chilling. Take a walk, feed some chickens, play with the dog, watch more YouTube videos. To be honest, this farm doesn't really have much to do, but at least the house is nice.
I think he actually smacked the bread on my hand. I think it was bread, okay.
Checked out of that farm and drove to Hobart Constitution Dock to have lunch. It's Australia. Obviously, you have to eat fish and chips. It was pretty good. After that, drive about an hour or so to Cygnet, and we've reached our second farm of the trip. This is an interesting one because it's supposed to be an apple farm alongside being an animal farm for guests. What we're living in is actually an old barn that used to store the apples that were harvested here. But due to a lack of that many apples that need storing, they converted the barn into basically a big 3-bedroom cottage for guests. I personally think it's really cool with an old-fashioned and rustic kind of vibe, with a lot of interesting elements added in, like old posters, pictures, sculptures, unique items, and loads of different decorations. Also, there's a typewriter. That's pretty cool. Well, now, it may not look like a lot from the outside, but like, the inside is a lot nicer. Like, ignoring the fact that we have all our shit, like, over here. But like, it's pretty nice. It's got like a dining table, kitchen. There's a sofa and a TV with like a cow skin rug and like some, I think, kangaroo pelts there as well. It's a bit of a balcony outside. This whole thing is a barn that they converted. So, yeah. Very nice. Rain shower. Extra room. A separate toilet for some reason. Some nice postings about. And then another extra room. Yeah, it's very nice. So this is the shower. There's a bench for some reason, and there's a rain shower up top. And don't you just hate it when you're trying to take a shower and there's some random wooden elk asshole just looking at you the whole time? What a creep. Another day of just chilling and also enjoying the farm. There's a ton of goats which are really fun to feed.
Sitting on by him.
Europeans are always stumbling upon things to explore, like this cave in southern Tasmania, for example. It's called Hastings Cave, and it was formed about 60 to 40 million years ago and discovered about 100 years ago. An absolutely beautiful cave, just like many others. After getting back, I did a bit more feeding and chilling with the goats. I just wanna say, it's supposed to be summer for the southern hemisphere, but for some reason it's still 12 degrees Celsius. Summer just chose not to show up. Hey, what you doing, eh? What you trying to do? Oi, this ain't no food. I ain't got nothing, mate. I ain't got nothing. Oh, I. It's not food, mate. It's not food. This ain't food either. Nah, it ain't food. So, yeah. I. That ain't food. Got no food for you. Oh, sorry. No, no, no. No. Oh, sorry. Oh, shit. There was shit in that.
Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Easy there, mate. Easy there. Hey, yo.
I thought they're siblings.
Hey, yo.
Yo.
I think they just play fighting. Now stop. Oi, 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 oi.
So I don't
Oi, oi,
like
oi.
it.
Oi, oi, oi. No, it's not food.
Things you're because I can't like
Oh. Why'd you keep thinking it's food?
they don't like food.
Ay, ay, ay.
He doesn't like you the most.
Oh, whoa. Alright. No, no, no.
He doesn't like you at all.
This is absolute pop cocky.
I'm sure it's fine.
No, I don't think he likes. I don't think it's liking or not liking. It's just food. It's a pile of shit. Oh, that guy just took a big shit. That looks so goofy. But it's so cute. Look at him.
Checked out of that farm and proceeded to the airport. In classic Ryan fashion, it is today and only today that I'm actually going to the place I told you I would go, Melbourne. So we fly from Hobart to Melbourne, then have a 1 hour drive to the town of Ballarat for a grocery trip. By the way, this isn't the first grocery trip we've had. It's just I don't include them all because A, I don't film in supermarkets, and B, it's super boring. Unless it's today where I find that they are selling so-called Singapore noodles. Do you know what Singapore noodles are? I don't, and I'm from Singapore. They also have mee goreng with that spelled M-I instead of M-E-E for some reason. But I definitely won't question Westerners and their definitely very good understanding of Asian culture. After that traumatic experience, it's another 2 hour drive to more mountains, kind of. It's the Grampians, I'm not sure what else to refer to it as. We go to visit the Grampians and see what they call the Pinnacle Lookout. We got sidetracked and went to see something called the Grand Canyon, or rather the budget version of the Grand Canyon. This wasn't what we were here for, so we walked back to where we were supposed to go. On the way back, it started to rain pretty bad, but my mom said that we could simply hide under a tree and it would be fine. That's the kind of shit they teach 7-year-olds explicitly not to do. Those of you who have watched my video on my trip to the US will know that my mom doesn't give very good advice. Shortly after, my mom slipped on the wet rock and got hit on her head. Thankfully, she didn't sustain any major injuries, it just hurt a shit ton. There was no proper path, mostly natural rocks that have had only minor alterations to make them just walkable. and at this point, they were wet and slippery at the same time. Upon seeing this obvious threat to safety, I basically went, hell no, I'm not gonna risk my life to see some stupid rocks, and just walked back to the car. My parents decided that it was a good idea to keep going anyway, despite the safety hazards. Fortunately, they returned unscathed, though I still stand firm with my judgment that it was a bad idea that could have had serious consequences. I stayed home for the rest of the day watching YouTube videos. Another funny thing, instead of your typical pigeons looking for food at the trash bins, here there are cockatoos, and a lot of them. I did not at all expect to see a type of parrot scavenging through bags of trash. Australia really is strange. Again, no sane person needs more than one day in the mountains, so we checked out of there, had delicious fish and chips for lunch, then had a 3-hour drive to our third farm of the trip, near the Great Ocean Road. This one is a pretty big property of 280 acres, so there's quite a bit to explore. Somehow we managed to spot a koala in one of the trees. You can't see him, and yes, it's a male because of the certain sounds he makes. He's that grey ball of fluff sitting in the fork of the tree.
No.
Pretty cool, huh?
Titans, it's just the koalas, the male koalas calling out. Oh, he's looking at us now.
More Bing chilling and walking around the farm. And YouTube as well, but we don't need to talk about that. I take a walk a bit in the morning, but in the afternoon we drive out to see more stuff. We visit 12 Apostles, which is a rock formation, namely pillars of rock caused by erosion. I don't know why erosion fascinates people so much, but okay, whatever. So it's a bunch of giant rock pillars, right? And you might be asking, well, why are they called the 12 Apostles? Sounds kinda biblical. And the answer to that, dear viewer, is because there are 7 of them, and no biblical connection whatsoever. Am I reading that right? Yes, there are 7 rock pillars and nothing to do with apostles. So they called it the 12 Apostles. Technically, when it was discovered, there were 8 rock pillars, but one collapsed due to further erosion. That still doesn't bloody explain why they called it the 12 Apostles. My only explanation for this is that the people discovering this were high and went, oh, I see, 8, 9, no, wait, that's 12, definitely 12, 12 men who look like Jesus' disciples, the 12 Apostles, yes, I am a genius. And not just that, there's another funny thing. You see this info panel here? Let's take a closer look. There's both English and Chinese words. But the funny thing is, the Chinese paragraph at the bottom isn't the exact translation of the English words. It basically translates to, don't get confused by this number. There's never been 12 stone pillars. The locals long ago called this landscape the Sow and the Piglets, and only 8 stone pillars have been recorded. Only 7 remained after one collapsed in 2005. The cliff in front of us is still being eroded at a rate of 2 centimeters per year. Okay, so there's multiple pieces of information taken from multiple different English paragraphs, but none of the information in this second lowest English paragraph on the left has been translated to Chinese. Likewise, the Chinese paragraphs contain the information of the 8th pillar collapsing due to erosion, but there is no mention of it in the English paragraphs. So, like, what? I'm so utterly confused as to what they were doing when creating this panel. The dumb things here all point to everyone being involved in this tourist destination being high on crack. After this goofy experience, we visit the beach down below, but that's less interesting. Checked out of this third farm, then drove for 2 hours to Warren Ponds to have lunch, which is also near our fourth and final farm of the trip. I once again had fish and chips for lunch, however this time we were eating at a restaurant. The fish and chips were expensive but dog shit, the worst combo. Restaurant fish and chips are never really that good. If you want the real good fish and chips, you have to eat at one of these random fish and chip shops. That's where the good shit is at. Anyways, we check into the farm and are greeted with a beautiful rainbow and also the excited shouts of another Singaporean family. How do I know it's a Singaporean family? Well, I'll let you hear for yourself.
Baby, I am like that rainbow. It's really very, very nice.
It's basically voice recognition for Singaporeans. I also get to meet the resident pet kangaroo, which is pretty shy, so I don't get too close. Again, more being chilling feeding the animals, but this time with mini golf and giant chess. The mini golf is more of just a square green patch with 4 holes and slight inclines than an actual mini golf course, because what can you expect? It's a farm. I played a game of chess even though I suck ass, but still won because my sister is even worse. If there's one thing I don't like about this place, it's that the reception and mobile data are dog shit here. I'm talking taking 10 seconds to send a text message, can barely load images and videos that I receive, and most importantly, can't watch YouTube videos. And guess what? I'll be staying here for 5 nights. Anyways, on to more fun topics. You've almost certainly heard of walking a dog, right? People do it all the time. But have you ever heard of walking a goat? These are 2 miniature goats that we can attach leashes to and, well, walk them. Not always time for eating. Oh my gosh. Slow down, slow down. Nope. I'm not doing that. I'm doing that slow. Oh. Come on, going back. You know, the problem is, at this farm I'm staying home most of the time, since we have nothing much planned, so I'm having to Bing chilling with a major part of the Bing chilling aspect missing. Of course, I can go take a walk, feed animals, play more mini golf and chess, but it can only entertain you for a few hours max. Thankfully, television exists. And you know what's on TV? Friends. Only for 2 hours a day though, but it's something at least. You know what else is on TV? Bond. James Bond. That's right, they're showing a James Bond movie once a day, every day for this season. Or until they run out of James Bond movies, probably. But there are a lot of James Bond movies. Yesterday, I was watching the Sean Connery one from 1983, Never Say Never Again. Today, I'm watching a Roger Moore one from 1985, A View to a Kill. If you're confused with the names, it's fine. My friend couldn't believe that there have been 6 different actors for James Bond over the past 60 years. Well, today it is something interesting. I go for this treetops adventure. You know, the forest adventure obstacle courses kind of thing where you have harnesses on you and you do obstacle courses hanging from tree to tree. Yeah, that. And I feel so bad because I have no footage to show you, since carrying a phone with you unattached to any sort of protection while 20 meters above ground isn't the best idea. I really wanted to get some footage, but I simply couldn't. Well, here's some stock footage for you to look at while I talk, I guess. I just want to say that the zip lines are literal cock and ball torture. The safety harness that is strapped onto you obviously straps every limb of your body to safely hang your body from the cables to support you if you slip and fall. However, there is this portion where the straps for your legs combine at a point, and logically that point has to be in between your legs, right below your crotch. So now whenever I zipline, I am hanging by the harness, and my entire weight now acts upon my crotch for the entire duration of the zip line. Absolute pain in the genitals. For the sake of any males watching this who do not wish to imagine the pain I went through, and for any females who do not wish to hear me talk about the experience of my privates, I shall not go into further detail. My family went out shopping, so I'm left alone at home just bing chilling. This whole time, with the lack of internet connection, I've had to survive solely on watching Friends, James Bond movies, and grinding Risk until I get better at it. I missed the James Bond movie today though, but yesterday I watched the Timothy Dalton one from 1987, The Living Daylights. Okay, enough of James Bond. Look at this pack of tiramisu. Guess how much a 500-gram pack costs? $8. Only $8. For that price in Singapore, you can probably get only a slice. This is a whole pack. Hold on. There's a serving suggestion. Shit. Let's just say I've been eating more than recommended. You won't believe the amount of tiramisu I've consumed this entire trip. Well, now we finally check out of the farm. I don't hate it. It's actually pretty nice, but just that the lack of internet access is bloody annoying. We had a short 16-minute drive before reaching Torquay, which is where our final accommodation would be. It's a cottage next to some beaches. Sorry guys, I have no footage. My family went out to do something, so I was at home watching YouTube videos. Obviously, I'm not going to record myself watching Markiplier videos, right? In the morning, we go check out the beaches near our cottage. I didn't bring my phone to film because I was going waist deep into seawater and I wouldn't trust my phone to survive anything remotely close to that. The last day. Pack up shit and time to go. We came to Australia with 4 check-in baggages for the plane. We ended up leaving with 8. Not sure how much shit my parents bought to end up with 4 more bags of stuff, but they were probably cheap and were Asian, so yeah.